So hi, I'm Alex, and this is 6 Seasons in a Podcast, the podcast dedicated to having conversations with the writers and the cast and the crew of the hit comedy Community. And so this week I have a special guest co-host, Darsan Solomon, aka Dave from season 5 and 6.
Hello.
Who I had on. I had on back in January, and we had a really great time, and I wanted to invite him on to talk with our guest. So say hi, Darsan.
Hi. Nice to be back.
So we have, it's our pleasure to talk with the amazing Yvette Nicole Brown, who Community fans will know as Shirley Bennett. Yvette, welcome to 6 Seasons in a Podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here finally.
Yes. I think I've annoyed you enough on Twitter, and so thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah, not annoying at all. It was always nice. It was just finding the right time to do it, and we found the time.
Absolutely. I'm curious about those early shows. You know, some of our younger demographics of Community fans with Netflix, I'm seeing on social media and some of the channels that we have that there's a lot of people who know you from Drake and Josh before even knowing Community. What was it like playing Helen versus Shirley, and what is it like being on those shows prior to Community?
I mean, it's kind of the same way I felt growing up watching Different World and Facts of Life and Cosby Show. Like, it's pretty awesome to be a part of a show that kids grow up watching and different generations of kids grow up watching. You know, I've accepted and am overjoyed to realize that for the rest of my life, there will be new kids discovering me every year as Nickelodeon continues to air the show or as Netflix continues to air Community. And so it's an honor. I've never been someone that has a problem being considered a role model. I think it's an honor to be someone that people look up to. And when I chose to do Drake and Josh, I was aware that it would be a show that would live for kids forever. And so it's colored the choices I've made as an actor going forward, because I want to always make sure that I don't take part in something that will confuse a new batch of kids that are discovering me for the first time. Now, that's my choice. It's no shade on how anybody else lives their life or handles their career. I just knew for me, I knew what a Felicia Rashad meant to me as a kid. And so I don't want to ever do anything that makes a kid feel crazy because they looked up to me when they were 10. You know what I mean? So that's my choice. But it's something I take very seriously. And it's been an honor. Like, every time I go to a grocery store and I see a new kid that knows me, or even, the Drake and Josh are like 30 now. So a lot of kids that were their age when we were doing the show are, 30-year-olds now. So they're not kids anymore. So I run into adults that are like, oh my God, you were my childhood, which is a little weird because I'm not that old, but it's still pretty cool. So yeah.
Do you remember the Community audition?
I was, I've told this story 1,000 times, so anybody listening probably has heard it 1,000 times, but I wasn't going to go in. I had a really hard pilot season that year, and I was done. I felt like I had done my best. I didn't get a show, and I was just going to wait till the next year to come around. And so when the Community audition came in, I wasn't going to go. The thing is, though, I made the decision not to go without reading the script. So the morning I woke up to pass, I thought, well, I should at least read it. And so then I read it and was cracking up from page 1 and was like, oh my God. So then I had to scramble to try to get ready for the biggest audition at that time of my life. I think I auditioned maybe 3 times total for it, from, the first audition to the producer session to studio and network. So 4 times total. I still can't believe I got it. I'm still pinching myself that it was my turn to have my shot at a great show. And yeah, you just never know what God is going to do. You never know what God is going to use. And so I'm really happy that I went for it anyway, even though I was pretty sure it was going to go nowhere. God had other plans.
Yeah, sticking with it. I think Danny mentioned he met you in the parking lot, I think.
Yeah, Danny was coming in for his it was either he might have already been cast or was like at the final step of being cast, like the final thing. He had to do like maybe his studio test or his wardrobe. It was something. He was there for that. And I saw him and he looked like who I thought Abed would look like. So I rolled down the window and I said, "Are you Abed?" And he said, I am. I'm Danny. And I was like, "Nice to meet you." He said, "Are you Shirley?" I said, "I don't know." I was like, "I don't know, man." And so he and I shook hands and he stuck his hand in my car window to shake my hand. And I've always joked and believed that he passed the good juju to me, because from that moment on, it just was a steady march towards becoming Shirley. So yeah, I met him. Danny was the first cast member I ever met.
Oh, so what was it like shooting the pilot? You got the role, and so did it feel special from that very first moment?
I don't know that anybody could say that they knew that it would be 10 years later and we'd have a resurgence on Netflix and people would do make a Communicon and there'd be art and stuff. I mean, I don't think anybody could have foreseen that.
Yeah.
But I did know that I was blessed to work with a really talented, fun group of people. And I felt that the show we were making was hilarious. And I was like, if we get a shot, we might be able to do a few seasons with this one. But as far as knowing the phenomena that it would become, no, I had no idea. Has anyone said that they knew?
No, I don't think. I haven't talked to Dan yet, but
yeah, Dan maybe knew, but I don't know. I didn't feel I'll say this: we weren't sitting on set like, yeah, we're gonna be amazing. No, nobody was doing that. We were like just having a good time, laughing, and just amazed that we got to say the silly things we got to say and do the silly things we got to do. But no, I don't think any of us knew that it would be what it is. Never.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite moments with some of the actors from the show?
Oh, it's so hard because I always say that the fans know the show way better than we do, with the exception of maybe Joel and Ken, because Joel and Ken and Danny are watching again with their kids. So they've probably seen the show a lot more than like me, Gillian, and Allison and Donald maybe have seen it. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to go, oh, yeah, I remember that episode when the entire experience with each of them. I have special moments with each of them in character. The first Halloween episode with Gillian, I got to spend a lot of time. Shirley and Britta were like having their little caper. So I got to spend a lot of time with her. With Annie, with Allison, it was the scene where Annie and the episode where Annie and Shirley were cops. I loved that because we all know the buddy cops and, people trying to one up each other and stuff. And Allison's always a good time. So that was fun. And then, Joel with the episode where we were gossiping about tiny nipples. And then also when we got to do the foosball, which was pretty great. And I really only got one episode with Donald ever out of the 100 I did. I did just one, the one when we were in gym class together. So I can't believe all those episodes I only had one arc with Donald, but it was memorable and it was something that I had been begging to get to do for years. And then, my Danny and just anytime Shirley was with Abed, I think Shirley understood Abed and Abed trusted and loved Shirley. Mm-hmm. And she was able to get through a lot of his, I don't think Shirley understood his weirdness, but she accepted him and loved him, even though he was weird. And to her, he wasn't weird to me, but he was weird to Shirley. And, she called him her little caramel angel and she loved him and, it was great. And then we know what happened with her and Senior Chang. So, there's that happened.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what did you think when you were told that there was going to be this pregnancy arc with Shirley?
I thought it was ridiculous. I really did, and I've spoken about this too. Like Shirley was the devout Christian, and as a devout Christian myself, if we were facing a zombie apocalypse, we would not be having sex. We'd be praying.
And I think, to Shirley's credit, I think she actually needed the study group the least. I think she was the most complete of an individual. And, I think she proved that by, obviously taking the real life, and turning into something that she needed to do in the show. But, I think just her confidence, she had confidence, she had abilities and determination the whole time. And so I
agree. Thank you for that, Alex. I agree. Sure. And I think that the way Dan and the other writers wrote her, she knew who she was. Anytime there was any doubt, I remember when Pierce had died and they were doing the interrogation and Walton Goggins is like, Shirley, did you know that you're a credit to your race? She was like, yes. She always knew her place and knew that she was not her place in that way, but she always knew where she belonged in the world, and she rocked the lane that she was given. And I like to believe that as an actor playing that character, I did the same. I knew my lane. I knew what my focus was and what I was supposed to bring to my little corner of the study room table, and I did my best to rock the shit out of that lane. That's what we each did at the table. We did the best we could with what we have. And I think together we made something really beautiful.
So I think it was difficult when you left. I think you and both Donald leave the show, and it kind of broke some of the fans' heart. How did you handle that? Like, how do you approach the fandom when you're not getting the best response from them?
I have a very full life outside of Twitter and Hollywood. Like I got friends, and I got my family, and I left the show to take care of my dad. And honestly, anyone that didn't understand that can kick rocks. And I mean that. Yeah. I mean that from my heart. I was a little bit hurt by it and a little annoyed by it, but it never broke me. And when I say hurt, I mean, I hurt not personally, but hurt from the idea of people being so dead inside that they can't understand why I would choose family. Like that hurt my feelings for them, that they couldn't realize that I had made the better choice. And I have never been someone that needs or wants fame. I've never chased it. I don't care what people think of me, because I know who I am and I know that I'm a good person. So the comments and the vitriol I received as if I had personally, kicked their kittens. I was like, y'all gonna have to get over it though. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I left for family, Donald left for work, and Donald got none of the vitriol I got. I'm like, how Donald gonna get to he going to do Atlanta, and everybody's like, go get it, Donald. And I'm leaving to take care of my daddy, like, go to hell. I'm like, what the? How?
Oh my God, that's so
How
true.
does this
That's
even
so
work?
messed up.
How? So when I realized that, I was like, this is dumb. So I didn't even really care. And people came back around once I guess they thought I was lying, when they really realized that, oh, dang, she did leave and take care of her daddy. Then they kind of, oh, Yvette, we're so sorry. Okay. All right. You sorry now. So listen, Community is a great show, and I'm glad that everyone enjoys it. But there's human beings that play these roles, and there's things that they have to take care of in their lives that might prevent you from getting your entertainment. And you got to be okay with that. So, and the cool people are, a few people apologized, and it's all good. It's all good.
Yay, you're on.
The movie that's going to happen 100%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was funny when that headline came out. I was like, wait a minute. And this is the thing, like it is going to happen. I just don't know when. No one knows when. No one, that was not me saying we're on set right now. That was not what it was. And I knew enough. I knew enough about Twitter, and I knew enough about the community fandom. Let me get in front of this right now, because this is about to become a thing, and it's not a thing. It's not even news. We all have said in various interviews that we would do it. We just said it all on the Zoom thing we did for charity. We all said that we do it. So it's not news to hear us say that we want to do it, and we will do it. We just don't know when.
What do you think your key to success has been?
Kindness, professionalism, gratefulness, not thinking too highly of yourself. I think a lot of people get tripped up because they start to believe that they're magically delicious. And I have this thing, I go and talk to children all the time at schools, and I always say, either we're all special or nobody is. Nobody gets to walk around like they're great and everybody else is garbage. Either we're all great or we're all garbage. That's just the way it works. So that's a great equalizer. And I think that it's important, even as your star rises in this industry, because there are going to be a lot of people telling you they're so pretty and you're so smart and you're so funny. That's nice, but don't believe that. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Don't believe your own hype.
Yeah, and definitely don't start treating people poorly because you believe that. I just think that's just so ridiculous. So secret to success is to stay humble, stay kind, be professional, and be grateful. Like, let's really just get down to it. God was very kind to you. So how about you just be very kind to others because he was kind to you? How about that?
Auditioning for Community, that was like something that really like toyed with my emotions a lot, because Jewel knew what she wanted me on the show somehow, but didn't know how. So like all of season 4, bringing me in. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm happy to be here, but this is like, I was just sort of wondering. And then finally I got on. I was like, oh, cool, yay. And then I didn't come back for the rest of season 5. And then the show was canceled and I was bummed. And then season 6 happened and then I came back.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful.
That's how it works.
How do you see it as Black actors? What are you seeing as the landscape, and how is it changing? Yvette, you go first. Is it? I mean, is that?
I mean, listen, I haven't been on set since the Great Awakening. That systemic racism exists after Black people have been telling people for about 40 years. And they finally like, oh, does it? Listen, I am hoping for the best. I have had great conversations with friends of mine that are determined to be allies and accomplices now, which is wonderful. I think that people finally see it, even though, like I said, for generations, longer than 40 years, we've been saying it. But I think they finally see it. And, we'll see if it changes, because the other thing is, for there to be more diversity on set and in executive suites, that means some white people got to give up some positions. And I don't know if they're going to want to do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, to have diversity, the all white, crews need to be, integrated. So that means that some people who are used to being on crew won't be able to be on crew anymore. Somebody that used to be the head of development or whatever may not be able to do that anymore. And I don't know how they gonna feel about it. So like I said, we'll see. Hope springs eternal, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
But I invited Black Voices to come on and talk about the D&D episode. We won't go into it now, but it's.
I don't listen. The reason I don't talk about it is not. It's none of it's my doing. What happened on the episode, why they took the episode, none of it is my doing. I do think that that episode is a beautiful episode about acceptance, and I think that Charlie Kuntz did an acting tour de force. He and Chevy actually did really well in that episode, and I feel like it was a message that needed to be out there. So I don't know what they're going to do or how, if it'll ever get back into rotation, but I do think that episode was one of our best.
Agreed.
And the rest, the reasoning and all that, I don't have anything to do with it. That's why I don't speak on things I have nothing to do with. I let people work out their own stuff. I have nothing to do with it, but I do think Charlie is disserviced in that episode no longer being out there. And I think he deserves his work to be seen.
I think you can find it on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Oh, can you? You can probably buy the DVDs and get it too.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it was my favorite episode. So that's what's difficult.
I got to say this too. I felt like Ken took some licks that he didn't deserve to. Like, come on now, stop it! Everybody, stop it.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing about the D&D?
Sure.
No, we weren't supposed to talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
But Shirley mentions it. Like, it didn't happen where nobody said what. So
we're just going to ignore the hate crime?
Yeah, it was said. So it was accepted and understood that it did not appear to be the right thing to be doing. Yeah. And then it was explained what it actually was. And it's a character that actually exists in the fantasy realm that people know about. So, I just feel like, I also think that pulling that Golden Girls episode because they had mud on their faces.
That was so dumb.
That was dumb.
It's just damage control, brand protection.
Listen, as we fight our way back from systemic racism, there's going to be some overcorrecting that happens. And I think that there are some things that have been overcorrected. But I allow it, and I even celebrate that because that means people are hyper vigilant. And they never have been in the past. And I think that's something that can be applauded. Now, the overcorrections can be fixed later, hopefully.
Right. But
that's
at least they're trying. They're making an effort.
At least they're trying. So that's good. And they need to find some justice for Breonna Taylor while we're talking about it. Okay.
Amen. Well, with that, I just want to say thank you so much to Yvette Nicole Brown for being on 6 seasons in a podcast. You've been wonderful. I absolutely adore you. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.